11:20 in the morning of July 14th, 2018, Bastille Day. And we see a Forest Ranger truck go by. We are in front of Feinberg Park. The McGregor powerhouse is just that away, and it's very smoky. And as we point toward the Berto Road, Old State Road area up in the curve there, we're on Devil's Den Road, of course. Still looks very smoky up there. It's 11:20 or so. Channel 3 WCAX did a nice little report from this location yesterday. When we shut our cameras off yesterday, we headed home. Didn't come back here to the fire station area or around here. In fact, shortly after we got back home, we could, a personal note, we could hardly walk. Our right heel really flared up, and I needed to get off my feet after walking probably within a 24-hour period, probably walking 5 miles or 4 to 5 miles on those uneven rocks on the flat rock area where we were. The helicopters are grounded. We briefly saw one of the helicopters fly over when we were on our way out from that location. For the moment they are grounded, so I hope that is a good sign. There's one there and there's one here, and as we drove by, my wife and I drove by, one of the people from the helicopter was showing to some of the youngsters who were in the area, probably some from just across the road or whatever, who came across, and they were showing them what the helicopter looked like. Looks like they're having a lunch break of some sort, and we'll try to find out what's going on. We may or may not stop at that area. There's still a beehive of activity at the fire station, so we may go there next, but this is what the ballpark looks like. If you've played any youth sports in the Northern Tier, chances are you have played here at Feinberg Park at one time or another. And we do have a view of McGregor Dam. That was very much a highlight of last summer, and they gave tours there last summer, and the history of William H. Minor and McGregor Dam and the LaSalle Dam and the McGregor Powerhouse and all that good stuff. So, as I said, we're on the Devil's Den Road, and we're going to try to find out more about what's happening. We were heading, speaking of William H. Minor, we're heading for the Minor Farm, Minor Institute. We're going to be there in an hour and a half from now, so we thought we'd stop here first. They've got an event going on at the farm, and we're going to be heading there today, but we did want to do a little update here on this July 14th, 2018. When we came out of Feinberg Park, we decided to turn right first because I know this fella here, he's walking away from me now as I got the camera rolling, has seen a flood or two over the years. Yeah, but
true.
What's your name, young fella?
Lionel Perrier.
Lionel Perrier. Now, there's at least 7 or 8 Perriers in Altona, aren't there?
Oh, there's 9 of us in this family. All ball players, too.
All sons of Tuffield?
Yep. Tuffield and Florence.
You're right here by the road here, where the water comes through and so on. Are you old enough, Lionel, to remember the 57 incident? Or?
I was 4 years old.
4 years old. So
yeah. And
I was 10.
that came right up behind my father's farm. I lived right up the road right there.
Yeah.
And there was a barn there, and it came right up behind the barn. And they evacuated us out. We were kids, and we had to go to Peru to my grandmother's. So
over 2,000 acres, according to what the newspapers back then said.
There was that much? Gee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess they got quite a few acres today down there.
Yeah, well, last I heard yesterday, 368. I don't know how they can get it down to 68 instead of 370.
Well, they must have a way of doing it. So.
Yeah, so I won't argue with them because I don't have an estimate.
Me neither. You know.
So have you been bothered much here? I see a lot of hazy smoke this morning, and it looks like it's.
It smells like bacon.
Smells like bacon?
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
This is my grandson Keaton Perrier,
And
and this is my granddaughter Erica Perrier.
all right.
Grandpa,
And
are we gonna be on TV?
oh, you
Oh,
never know.
It might happen. Well, you
Yeah.
keep your fingers crossed.
Other news one didn't show us.
The other news didn't show you? Oh, wow. That,
They were interviewed on the other one, and it didn't come on TV.
oh, they keep the best for later. So you haven't had too much?
No, this is yesterday. It was a little hazier, but today it was beautiful, and now it's starting to cloud. Must be picking back up again or something,
Yeah, or the
or they're
smoke is
working it up.
drifting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was quite surprised. Of course, with the overcast skies, it's tough to get a long-range view of what it might look like. But I was quite surprised and quite pleased. We
Yeah.
got a little rain overnight, but not enough to.
No, it dampened it though. It did a good job.
It didn't hurt, but,
No, that's for sure.
you know. And
Yesterday, if you'd have been here, you'd have seen a lot of helicopters flying.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that.
I wasn't here, but I was up on the end of the Brunel Road, and I saw some flying in there. But when I left there, it was time to head back, so I didn't come up this way, and I wish I had, but I didn't.
Well, all the kids need memories, and this will be a memory for these young kids.
Yeah, and if it doesn't get any worse than it has,
Right.
then it won't be too bad.
We'll be picking blueberries in 2 years.
That's one of the positive offshoots of when this kind of thing happens.
Yeah, they say that, and it takes this heat for the jack pines crack their seeds or
Well,
something.
that actually takes the fire. What
Yeah,
Ken
and-
Adams told us years ago. That
Yeah.
So it takes the fire to pop those seeds. But as long as those little things pop, doesn't matter how they pop, because just the trucks running over them. I was talking to some people from Minor Farm, and they said where the heavy equipment came in after the ice storm, that area has grown a lot because they ran over those
Yep.
seeds and they popped out, and
Yep.
so you know.
It's actually a mess up in there too. Ever since that big windstorm and that was it Irene that went through, a lot of trees are
2011,
down and a lot of
2011,
brush are down, and it was perfect thing for a fire. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sad to see it come though, because it's a good recreation spot for the four-wheelers and skidooers, and
Well,
we try to all maintain it good, but you have the little ones that don't maintain, and it makes it hard on everybody else. So
it's a slow ride too.
yes, it is very nice ride.
But slow.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of
Oh yeah,
ups and downs. And,
it's a long ways from here to West JZ across there.
And as I was thinking when I was going through there, there's probably nobody or very few people who've grown up in Altona who haven't ventured back there and know that like the back of their hand probably.
Well, I think years ago, yeah, but there's so many new people in town here. About 2 weeks ago, we went up there, and there was this young guy walking with his daughter, about 3 years old, and he was totally lost. And we set him straight back on the trail, and apparently he must have came out and got back to his truck. He's gone, but he was totally lost up there, and he was thinking about he was going to end up in Shazy Lake, and I said no. I said
Lake.
Minor Lake is off to the right here a long ways yet, 5 miles. I said, but I said you're a long ways from Shazy Lake.
And heading in the wrong direction.
So I don't think he knew too much about the rock, and if you don't know a lot about it, it's grown up so bad that you got to pay attention on all the little side roads.
Yeah. Well, hopefully this is the start of the end. That it looks like it. They've definitely made some improvements. You said there's a lot of choppers going through here yesterday.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of them big Black Hawks there. They landed, and they'd pick up water at the Minor Dam up there, and they'd shove it across. And then today I was reading in the paper they actually got water out of the Dead Sea up there, and I didn't think they could get low enough to get it, but apparently they could.
Apparently they did.
Yeah.
Drop those buckets down and,
Yeah,
and pick it up.
there's some awesome drivers in them things.
Yeah.
I watched them come around. One time I thought they were going to collide, and they just, I don't know, they maneuvered around each other. And
They know what they're doing. Huh?
oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
All right. So it entertained the grandkids, did it? Yesterday?
Oh yeah. We had to go over there 100 times on the bike and watch them land and take off, and right.
Well, you're making memories.
Yeah. You want to say hi to Mom and Dad?
Hi.
There you go.
You?
Hi.
Hi, all right.
This one here become we'll always remember this day because my son just had a little boy
Oh,
yesterday. So
oh.
No,
it was
today.
well,
Today.
early this morning, 2 o'clock this morning.
2 o'clock this morning.
So
You got a baby brother you haven't seen yet?
yeah.
You know his name yet?
Brian Jr.
Brian Jr. What's your father's name?
Brian.
Checking it out, eh?
All right, Lionel.
All right,
Anything
nice
else?
seeing you.
All right, take care.
No, there ain't too much going on.
All right, thank you. We've made our way inside the fire station and we are talking to
Vanessa Thompson.
Vanessa. I see other Thompsons are here too.
Yep.
Is this a Thompson function
It's
here?
starting to be, yep. That's my uncle and my aunt.
Okay, I saw them here yesterday when I was here, so I know they've been helping out.
We've been here since Friday night, yep.
Now, is this a auxiliary? Altona?
Yep, we're Altona Fire Department Auxiliary, made up of men and women, so not ladies anymore.
No, not just ladies auxiliary. I see Jeanette Labarge over there. I talked to her grandson. He said there's 3 generations of them involved in the
Yes, there is.
in the department. So donations, you've been getting a lot of
We
help.
have had an outpouring of donations coming from all over the place. Great help from Mountain Mart in Moores, Jeannie Bushy, and D&D Meats in Scioto, Shane Dutel, Sharon and Adrian. Shane's been coming up to cook for us 5 o'clock in the morning for the guys and girls to get breakfast sandwiches out. Jeannie's been making salads and bringing us cold meat so we can make fresh sandwiches to get them out to the guys. Numerous people from all over Vermont, all the way out as far as Keysville, Ellenburg, been coming in, bringing Powerade, water, gum, all sorts of donations to keep the guys and girls going.
Now you're here today on the Saturday, and this of course started 2 days ago, just about now, 48 hours ago. Are you got people here around the clock, or how does that work?
Well, we came in Thursday night and left about midnight. Friday morning we came in at 5 a.m., pretty much stayed here all day, took care of the guys' breakfast, lunch, and dinner. About 9 o'clock they come out of the woods and take a break, go home, and we're back at it at 5 a.m.
I know when I was leaving the Brunel Road on Thursday, they brought in cases of water and said some woman had just stopped in and donated them. When I was leaving, the sandwiches arrived. So you've been feeding the people out in the field, so they haven't necessarily had to come here. You've been sending food out to them.
Food out there, yep. Yeah. Just like today, we're making meatball subs that has been generously donated. The meatballs, we cook them, we're sending them out so that they don't have just the same old bologna and ham. Yesterday was hamburgers and hot dogs, today is meatball subs, and of course we do have the bologna and ham and peanut butter and jelly.
Now, how much of staff do you have besides the 3 Thompsons?
We are a small auxiliary. I think we have 17 members. Probably about 6 of them are able to actually help us today. We have some great help from Champlain Fire Department Auxiliary also has come up, prepping tonight's dinner. We have a lady from South Plattsburgh Auxiliary. She's up here helping. Okay. So it's been an outpouring of help. Ross's Point offered to come up, auxiliary. Moores.
So it's kind of like a mutual aid for the auxiliary.
Yes. We've had numerous people willing to come up and help us out.
Any idea how many people you have fed?
Well, we make 100 breakfast sandwiches in the morning, and we send out, they just told me right now we're going to be feeding 185 people for lunch.
Feeding 185.
Feeding 185 people for lunch.
And some of these are probably hungry.
And some of these guys are probably hungry. Very hungry. They've been out there since 7 o'clock this morning.
At this stage, this is shortly after noon on Saturday. What have you heard about what's happening?
I have not heard anything.
You just keep,
I just get told to feed them, and that's what I do.
All right. I see Ellen Montgomery's back there, too. And
Yep, Ellen's up there. We have Jeanette Labarge. Some of the girls were here this morning. Tressa Waite, she had to go to work, so Katie Waite was here this morning. My daughter comes up and helps out. She's 11. She's here somewhere right now.
All right. So we'll let you get back to work. We appreciate you taking time out, and keep up the good work.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. As you might expect, it's very hectic, very fluid here. You can use that word. Ongoing situation with. We've had some people that would chat with us, and all of a sudden they are pulled away to handle something else that's more important than talking to Hometown Cable. It is our intent, when all is said and done, all the dust is settled, that we would come back here and do a wrap-up. And one of the people we're going to do a wrap-up with is this fellow here. What's your name, young fella?
Eric Day.
Eric Day. I've seen you here right from day one, if I can use the word day one.
Day one,
Eric
yep.
Day.
Yep, came up Thursday afternoon, right when the thing kicked off.
You were one of the guys that was preventing Greg Spinner from talking to me, because you and him and Chris and a whole bunch of other guys were awfully busy.
That's right. Early on there, a few of us really busy trying to get resources in and try to get a hit on the fire early.
Yeah, it's certainly nothing that you've had to put up with it to this extent in the recent past.
Yeah, absolutely not. Certainly not in my career here at the county. This is the biggest wildland forest fire we've had in my time.
Now, see some folks all the way from Essex County here.
Yeah, corrections.
Yeah.
Corrections crew.
And Mr. Stahl coming in.
Yep.
Yeah, corrections. I saw at least 3 or 4 of these vehicles yesterday, so they're helping out.
We had crews yesterday, and then they're back again today helping out on the fire line.
That includes some from Altona here?
I don't know if there's an
No?
Altona crew here or not.
Okay. So
I believe there's most from the Mariah Shock facility.
okay, I didn't know if some of those were from Altona, because I know last year when they were working up at the McGregor Dam, they wandered over here from there.
Had crew, yeah.
So this might be more people that are in tune to this type of thing. As they're saying, a type of thing that you don't have to put up with very often in our area.
No,
And I don't think you were around in 1957, were you?
I wasn't here in 1957. We had a couple of fires on the Flat Rock 8-9 years ago, but nothing to this extent. I mean, this has grown to be quite a fire.
I hear a chopper in the air again, so that they are going to be continuing with the drops, I hear. Is that your understanding?
Yeah, that's my understanding. That they've still got a couple of helicopters. Here he is coming right there. Going to go right over top. They're probably going to initiate aviation operations again, and would mean probably dropping water again. They had to hold off on that this morning with the weather, but it's breaking here for that.
Has there been a problem that, because once it gets dark, you don't want your people out there? Has there been a problem overnight, during the overnight hours, when you weren't able to have too many people out there?
Well, you're right. In the darkness, out in the woods, rough terrain, rugged territory, and access is tough. It's really not safe to be out there working. So the crews are pulled off in the evening, 8-9 o'clock, and brought back in, debriefed, and then the plan is laid out for the next day. The forest rangers, however, they do keep a small crew that monitors the fire throughout the night, but suppression activities are held off overnight in the dark.
Yeah, and the forest rangers are used to being out in the forest theoretically at night.
Yeah. So there's a small crew of them that they'll patrol it and look for any places where things are really moving or jumping ahead that need to be addressed in the morning. But of course, it's certainly grown overnight in the last 2 nights, but it's expected with the type of fuel that's out there and the weather we've had and the fact that it's just so dry.
Yeah, the fuel you're talking about is all that undergrowth that's just ankle high, but burns like heck.
Burns like heck, and then of course the jack pine trees that are in there, they burn pretty well too when it's dry.
Yeah. The weather reports I've heard from the local stations said we're an inch low. Well, I think up here in the northern tier we're more than an inch low. I'm not sure where. We've had a lot of storms that came in south of Plattsburgh that didn't reach up here.
Yeah,
a lot of rain that didn't fall
didn't get so much water up here. I was actually up in the woods on Thursday, and it's dry. It's dry up there.
So it might be an inch low in the Plattsburgh area, but I'm darn sure it's a couple inches behind where it should be up here in the northern tier.
And of course, the the makeup of the Flat Rock area
Yeah.
is an arid area anyway. It's dry naturally. Even when it does rain, what things that's growing up there are soaking it up fast, and the rest of it seeps through the rock.
Yeah.
So there's no soil there to hold any moisture.
Yeah, so it's an area that is actually, if you were going to design it, you would design it for fires, because that's what the blueberries and the jack pines thrive on.
They
is
thrive.
the fire. So,
Yep. Rejuvenate every so often.
So when nature designed it, that's what they had in mind.
There'll be some good blueberry picking after this.
That's the story. Yeah. Now I know I was talking off camera to Greg Spinner, the fire chief here, and he said right now he's sharing the responsibilities with the forest rangers. What's the official title of the forest service that's here?
So the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation Forest Rangers.
That's a lot of words.
Yeah, a lot of words. A lot of agencies have big names. There's a bunch of different agencies here from the state. The Forest Rangers being the lead agency when it comes to dealing with forest fires.
Obviously.
That's their thing. They're supported by the State Office of Fire Prevention and Control, the Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, the State Office of Emergency Management, the New York State Police. All of them come together and fulfill roles that are managing the larger response. So there are forest rangers in the woods working with local firefighters, DOT dozer operators, some local contract dozer operators, from the towns, Altona, Moores. We got the town of Malone's got a dozer here. I think the town of Franklin. Those folks are out in the field doing the work, and then it takes a lot of people. The more people we put in the field, it takes more people back here to organize what's going on today and plan for what's happening tomorrow. The forest rangers are the lead agency, and one of their members is designated as a co-incident commander with Greg Spinner, the fire chief from Altona. So they are fulfilling what we call unified command. So the two lead agencies unified together, making the ultimate decisions with the whole staff under them that are feeding them information based on what's being seen in the field, what we know, what's happening. Is the fire changing? Is the wind blowing in a different direction? Are we bringing more people in? Are we sending people home today? That kind of thing.
Now, at a normal thing, and let's look at Thursday until the forest rangers arrive. Clinton County Emergency Services was there. You were there, and Chris, and a whole bunch of other people. But it's the local fire chief who's still in charge, even though it's the Clinton County people that are on hand.
Absolutely, and that works. In New York State being a home rule state, and the way our mutual aid system works, the local fire chief is the authority having jurisdiction when there's a fire call in his territory or her territory. Our office will come in at their request to provide assistance with anything they might need. Primarily it's coordinating the mutual aid, which we've got that down pretty well in the county because we do it a lot these days.
Yeah, because you got fewer and fewer firefighters, and you need that mutual aid
and we
more
need more and more help. The Altona Fire Chief, Greg, was in charge. Actually, I think it was his first assistant chief initially because Greg was at work in Plattsburgh. But then he got up on scene and has been kind of at the top of the food chain right along with locally us supporting him and whatever he needs. And then of course as the state moves their resources in, the operation gets a lot bigger.
So like Franklin County is here. Was that been something that you would have called in, or the state? How does that work?
Yeah, we asked yesterday early for Franklin County to help us with not only some units to actually fight the fire, some manpower and brush trucks. We've got a couple of larger trucks, tankers, and engines around that are actually covering for Altona today because the Altona guys are out working in the woods. But Ricky Provost over in Franklin County, my counterpart, offered their command trailer. So we're using that as office space for some of the planning staff, and our brothers in arms from the Hogansburg Akwesasne Fire Department have a command truck. They brought that over as well, and
the state police have the New York State.
Yeah,
Fire
that's the
Prevention
state fire's got
Control.
theirs. So the whole incident command system.
It's a
So
little horseshoe right there.
there's an incident commander, but under that person there's a number of people that have filled desks. One called the operations section chief, one called logistics section, the finance section, and the planning section. And then those people each have a number of people working for them. 2 or 3 times a day, we'll have meetings where those folks come together. But the rest of the time, they separate off and work on their own, and order resources, plan for tomorrow's operation, work with the auxiliary and whatnot, and the facilities here to make sure that things are here that are needed, like everything from porta-johns to generators for power, communications. The State Office of Emergency and Interoperable Communications. That's the biggest mouthful in state agencies that I use. They arrived yesterday afternoon and set up a couple of temporary antenna masts for some radios to improve communication here. I mean, we have good communication within the county. The rangers, the state agencies that come in, more people, more radios, so they need to improve that here at their site. So they've came in and brought some radio systems. A big effort, a lot of people, and a lot of coordination, but it's working.
I know it was before your time. I don't think we've seen an operation this large in the North Country since the ice storm 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's certainly, and I think that's certainly probably bigger than this. But you're right, we haven't had something of this size in since then. We've had some big fires. The Comfort Inn was a big fire. We had a lot of fire trucks there, but that was wrapped up in a couple of days.
Right.
We had a similar, I guess I would say a similar sized operation to this, not a fire, but the search in Ellenburg last year for Munn Boardman. A lot of the same folks that are here today were doing the same jobs we were doing back last Thanksgiving up there.
Actually,
two Thanksgivings ago. Yeah, that's right, 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
A similar sized operation, and actually, we might have had a couple of days up there. We might have had more people in the woods than we do here. We're covering a lot of area that week.
Yeah, and that, they weren't complaining about the heat when that was going on.
No,
Either.
heat wasn't an issue. It was cold. The last couple of days of that, it was real cold and snowy. It was miserable. But yeah, the big incidents like this don't happen a lot here, and then we're fortunate for that to be the case. That's right.
Okay, well, as I was saying before you came out, when this is all the dust is settled and the ashes have settled, we'd like to do a recap on this. Is there anything else that you think we should talk about right now, Eric? You're busy.
No, I think that's good. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate everything you do documenting this stuff and everything else you document. It's awesome that you do it.
Just glad to be able to do this kind of stuff, and my feet weren't glad yesterday after walking in and out of that flat rock yesterday.
I watched that video last night. I'm like, oh, he went way up there. Yeah, it's rough terrain. It's rough, and that was a road you were on.
Yeah, right. That was the main road.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Eric.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank you.
it. All right,
We'll
take
catch
care.
you later.
All righty.